Hello, and welcome to Old Melon's Potato Farm. It's a simple life where we are all unpaid interns enjoying the vegetables of our labor. You see, it was a really simple decision to abandon society and start a new nation free of choice. If everyone is a potato farmer, then we can't make the wrong decisions. It seems with every mob vote, the entire community hates the overall decision, despite it being the popular vote. Turns out everyone oftenly makes the wrong decisions, and democracy never works out. Maybe to balance things out, we could set up an electoral college system or something. I don't know. It all started with the first mob vote, which had a ton of unique and creative mobs the community could choose to implement into the game. At first, everyone was excited that this certain mob, which I will not speak the name of, won. Once it was implemented, it quickly became the most annoying and hated mob to encounter in the game. But pretty much every server that I play on has the mob disabled, and no other mob can boast that kind of achievement. But what do I know? I'm just a simple, humble potato farmer. Yep, nothing could go wrong at Potato Land. Just another day of... Nobody likes phantoms. Most of the wait, hold on. No. Why didn't I think about this when creating my skin? You know what? Never mind. We'll just do this. No, now my skin looks so empty. No, now the sweater looks off. No, now blue is a weird solo color. No, now the absence of blue is weird. No, now in this new shirt color, my pants look off. And now I just look depressed. My old skin was so iconic. But what if? Yeah, that's better. Okay, now where was I? Nobody likes phantoms. Most of the time they're disabled, which you can do with a game rule command directly within Minecraft. However, the code to implement them is already written, and their mechanics and drops are already intertwined in the game, so they're here to stay. However, what if we could make a few simple changes to them and quickly fix how annoying they are, and make them into something that you would enjoy encountering, while still making them recognizable hostile mobs to encounter? Their drops can still be utilized, and it would still fit in the game. As to not outright remove them, how can we fix phantoms? First, let's take a look as to why they were added and the promise they showed, so we know the core aspects of the mob we should keep after we change them. It was interesting to have a flying mob in the game, naturally. There aren't really any others in the overworld except for bats, which stick to caves, so not really a sky mob. And what was later added to the game? Bees, parrots, and allies. Allies? I don't know, I haven't encountered them. But they all stayed pretty close to the ground and had towering objects around them. So in retrospect, it doesn't feel like a naturally flying mob. The sky needs to be populated and have that atmosphere. There are also Vexes, which are very hostile, but they are kind of temporary enemies that are in addition to fights with evokers. Our second item on our list is just having another hostile mob that isn't within a location of interest. When you're building or exploring in the overworld, you'll come across only a few mobs that spawn everywhere. Zombies, skeletons, creepers, and spiders. Even though it may be rare, having a phantom come out and attack you is a unique shakeup to that formula that players were probably tired of at that point for so long. But arguably, the most anticipated feature is having a mechanic for sleeping and having a use for it other than skipping the night. Because not sleeping from having a 3-day mining trip actually has consequences now. But hold on, the last point is why they are so hated. After we actually had it, we realized that having an actual punishment for not sleeping is a bad thing. Players do it anyway in early game, but they don't have to once you progressed far enough in the game to where there's no reason at all to skip the night. At a certain point, it becomes like a chore to sleep and a challenge, especially if you're on a server and you have to coordinate everyone's schedules. After setting your spawn point, sleeping should be optional. People don't even bother, so there's no attempt to prevent phantoms from attacking, so you don't really know what you want. Let's not keep that requirement. In hindsight, the sleep mechanic is good the way it was. Also, that leads into the other point. Fighting the phantoms is just annoying. especially in early game. Your options to fight them are very limited unless you have a bow, which you'll have to waste arrows on, and they deal not a lot of damage. You have to hit them whenever they dive to attack you, which isn't too often, so it's tedious and, dare I say, annoying. So what can you do with these mobs? Well, I'll answer that question with another question. Have you heard of Satisfactory? I haven't spent a lot of time in the game, I swear. I swear. One thing I love about the game is the exploration and the discovery. As you find new alien creatures and terraform their homeland to creature empire, one creature is untouchable. The flying flyer. I don't really know the name. It really sells the atmosphere to have those flying in the sky, and it fleshes out the world. It does, however, bring up a lot of questions and glimpses later into the game. What can those beautiful, majestic creatures be exploited for? What do I get if I harvest them? Am I a completely sane individual? Now, how do we capture that magic in Minecraft? Imagine with me for a moment, you're a noob in the game. Part of the game is finding your own path, your own solutions. You have complete freedom with a few challenges along the way. You look up in the night and you see these creatures fly above you. These creatures are above you, literally. Their flight does create an unfair advantage against you in the early game, so they simply don't attack you. You are nothing to them. Not having them intertwined with the sleep mechanic still sells their phantom naming, since they fly in the night sky and they'll be a bit harder to spot. Maybe you can change your textures a little bit to make it a bit darker, as they are actual phantoms just flying in the night sky. This game is about exploration. You want to know more, to find out what they are and what they can be used for. They might be too fast for you to react, but if you plan things right and are quick, and you are particularly aggressive, you can try and kill one and get this mysterious item, the Phantom Membrane. It isn't until later in the game where it becomes useful. Once you get blaze rods and make a potion stand, you can make potions from them. By then, you probably have much better methods to kill the phantoms anyway. And here's the icing on the cake. The next reason that phantoms exist. After completing the game, you get an elytra. This is an extremely good item and makes traveling a breeze and kind of eliminates the fun of going between 2 points, especially if you're playing multiplayer. You can't bump into your friends. After completing the game, getting the elytra is actually pretty easy and sort of just makes the entire rest of the game a breeze. We don't want to remove them though. I want to add a little challenge, another obstacle to using it. You see, phantoms may ignore you at first, but they are also extremely territorial. If you take to the skies, they will attack you. This adds a little more challenge to the late game overworld, which is severely lacking, besides baby zombies. And plus, phantom membranes come with another use, repairing elytras. Eventually, you'll get around and learn to deal with this obstacle, since you would be in the late game. But the phantoms would turn from an annoying nuisance to a sense of wonder and mystique in the early game, and a challenge to the unique endgame way of transportation, either incentivizing improvement or becoming more involved in the world or community. At the very least, it will require you to be a little bit more aware of your surroundings when using the elytra, which you don't really want to become a turn your brain off and beat Minecraft with mechanic, because man, do the elytras make everything so easy. If you want to get from point A to point B, there are faster ways to do that anyway that require work, planning, and crafting, which is really the point of the game. This is a relatively simple change to the Phantom, removes its most annoying aspects and adds something new and unique. This will fix the Phantom and is relatively easy to implement. And I bet it will at least stop people from removing the Phantoms in all of their games because they hate it so much. Phantom Fix 1.22. Thanks for watching the video. That's the end of the video. I don't know what else you want me to do.